Hey, woo, I'm here. Hello, crew. How is everybody? Firstly, for those of you that have adjusted to the time difference, thank you. I forgot to warn you guys. Daylight savings finished for us in Australia on the weekend, so it pushes some of you out an extra hour from what it was before. It's really weird. We have three different time zone changes with daylight savings in a matter of weeks. It's quite confusing. So thank you for that. I've just got off a 2-hour call with my with the VIPs in our mentorship program, and we just had an amazing call. And so we've got a new emoji for them, which is the wave, the new wave of marketers to fit our beachy theme. So yeah, awesome call. So today, hello everybody. So my title, let it go, let it go. Pity I don't have girls, because I wanted to have like a Frozen outfit and just sing the song for you. So what am I talking about? I wanted to come on live here today, not to rehash something that happened last week, but just to, I guess, put some perspective in what I've learnt regarding a situation that has just gone on recently. And, you know, at the end of the day, how we just have to let shit go, basically. So I just want to share with you a bit about my journey over the last few days and what I've really learnt about. More so, I want to change the direction of this discussion to leadership and how we show up as people in the online world, because it'll make you or break you, guys, you know, the qualities that you have as a leader. And I looked up, you know, just some, I guess, research as to what makes a really good leader, you know, not just in the online world, but generally. And it just made me laugh. But just to sort of, well, how is everybody? How are you all going? Did you have a lovely weekend? Let me just say hello to a few people, and then I'll get into sort of what I was talking about. I will watch the replays. I don't think I could stay awake till 2 a.m. Oh, I'm not sure who that is. It's somebody watching from the group. So for those of you watching, some of you will be watching from my business page so I can see who you are, and some of you will be watching from my group. So I'm broadcasting in both places at once. If you are watching from my free group, then you do have to give StreamYard permission for me to see your profile. Otherwise, it looks like that. I can't see who you are. So it is morning in Patricia's part of the world, which it is mine. High five, Mike. How are you? Thumbs up to everyone. Hello, Crystal. How are you? She's saying hello to everyone. We got Gloria in the house. She's a life member of our coaching community. Crystal's got all the emojis going on, a member of our coaching community. Hello, Laurie. How are you? Olive is here. I made it, Laurie, just made it. I'm doing awesome. Thank you. How are you, Captain? I am amazing. Thank you. Fresh new start to a week. Hello, Shauna. How are you? And what I'm talking about in this video is it's just a bit timely, because at the beginning of my week that I do my lives, which is now, I do 5 lives a week, you know, just giving out sort of free training. I do always start with something to do with personal development, you know, something to make us think about who we are as people, whether we've got self-belief in ourselves, if we worry too much, what other people think of us, all that kind of stuff, because you can learn all the online skills that you like, but none of it really means much if you're not the right character of person, or you don't have enough self-belief in yourself to really make it in the online world. Because it takes a special sort of character to be an entrepreneur. And to truly be an entrepreneur means we've got to grow in a lot of ways, of which I have just done in the last few days. So we'll get to that in a moment. Hello, Mel. How are you? The reminder said 12 p.m. Reminder? The live? I'm not sure, because that should automatically convert to your time zone, the time that I go live. So what? Yeah, I'm not sure, Mel. Hello, Dolores. How are you? Good to see you here. Olive's a life member of our coaching community and my little right-hand girl at the moment. Hello, Lynn. How are you? Cindy is on. Heather is on. Gloria, start of the week off wiser and fresh. Absolutely, Gloria. It is a great start to the week. Love it, Helen. So whoever that is in my free group, if you can just click the StreamYard link at the bottom of the description of this live, then we can see who you are. Hello, Tracy. How are you? We've got Susan, Heather, Laurie, Shauna. Let it go. Love it. Hello, Janet. Crystal, my daughter, and I love that movie Frozen and that song. What little girl doesn't? I think it's now Frozen 2. Isn't that the new? I don't know any. My boys didn't really get into Frozen either, but how could you not know that song if you've got children? Seriously. I want the wave emoji. Oh, well, you can have the wave emoji somewhere down the line, Gloria. Oh, good. Where are my wavers? Janet's a waver. So we've got the palm tree for my community, the fish for the free group, the anchor because she's a life member of my coaching community, the cruise ship because she's in my coaching community, and the wave means she's in my VIP mentorship group. We've got emojis going on everywhere. It's just a little bit of fun. So Shauna is fabulous. Good to hear. Ford is live, ready for words of wisdom. Oh, I've got them today. We've got Claudia here. Sandy, hello. Good to see you on. We've got Adita as well. Kerry, hello. Aldith is on. We've got Fatima as well. We've got Judy and Bob. Oh, gosh, I could just sort of go on all day. But I probably should get into the content. Now, why am I saying sort of let it go? I'm saying let it go because sometimes in the online world, the network, well, it's life really. Crappy things happen, do they not? Like in life, we can't change that. But what does matter, so that is just going to happen regardless. Like we are never going to live a perfectly happy life. That is just not, it's just not possible. So things happen. And things happen, I think, sometimes to test us, and things happen to sort of help us grow. And I learned some pretty cool things, you know, when I've processed, you know, something that wasn't very nice in my world, you know, that happened late last week and carried over to the weekend. So for those of you that don't know anything about what I'm talking about, someone was attacking me and trying to bring me down and was saying nasty things about me to thousands of people, which obviously really, really hurt at the time. Then I processed into a bit of anger, and you might have seen a little bit of that on my live on the weekend because I was really, really angry about it at that stage. And I think when, you know, things happen like this, we do as a human go through these emotions. You know, you might be upset and then you have a little bit of anger. And then at some stage, it's like, we got to move on from here. And this is what I've done now. And I'm actually quite grateful for the experience because it's just made me a better person. I've grown through this experience, and I am really proud of who I am and what I do and the person that I am. And nothing ever comes good out of being nasty. And I haven't done that. That's not my problem. That's somebody else's problem that's been nasty towards me. But nothing ever good comes out of being horrible to other people. And good leaders don't treat people badly. So, you know, I've gone through my emotions of being really upset to being really hurt to coming out the other side going, well, that's okay. That's just another test in the universe of the online world. And I've come out a better person. If it happens again, I'll know how to handle it a little bit better. So, you know, again, things are going to happen in our lives that are not positive, but how we handle them as a human being really shows a lot about our character. How you show up in the online world as a leader and as an influencer to other people, everybody's watching, guys. So if you're the kind of person that wants to drag other people down, everybody's watching that. So that's not the person that I choose, you know, to be. But my point is not to rehash, you know, that sort of scenario that happened because I've moved on from that. It's really what I want this conversation to pivot to is what makes a really good leader in not only like the online world or the network marketing world, but just a good leader, you know, outright, because there are really things that we shouldn't do to other human beings. for whatever reason that you think that is necessary. There are just things that, there's the way that we conduct ourselves as human beings, isn't there? And either you can be proud of that, or you can be ashamed of that. How you carry out your world and your personality and your life, it's each to their own. But I certainly know the kind of character and the integrity that I have as an online marketer and as somebody in this industry. And, I don't have anything to worry about because I'm just going to continue doing what I normally do. But I just want us to learn some lessons from this. My lesson from this experience is growing, through the shitty stuff in the online world. And, when you're a bit of a public figure and you're in the firing line, there are going to be times where people are going to throw shit at you. Like, it's just all part of the journey. If you haven't had it yet, wait for it, guys, because it's going to happen. And every time it happens, you just get stronger and stronger to know how to deal with it, better the next time. Does that make sense? So I'm actually better off from this experience. But this live is really more about, how we should conduct ourselves as leaders. Because if you're going to be successful in the online world, you need to learn to be a leader. Because if you're going to have success, you're going to be bringing people into something, a business of yours, an online funnel or something like that. You're going to be bringing people into your net, into some equation, because that's how you're going to be successful. So you need to learn to be a good leader. So I want to share this with you. And I've got a really strong piece of advice at the end. Really strong piece of advice. And this is a life piece of advice, not just an online marketing, network marketing piece of advice. This is really, really important. Okay, so wait for that piece of advice at the end. But here are, and this is not my interpretation, this is what is written about leaders. Okay, so traits of a good leader: honesty and integrity. Honesty and integrity. Everything is done with integrity. So a good leader does not, just has the utmost integrity. Let's just leave it at that. A good leader is a great communicator and gets on the front foot with things and has conversations with people directly, rather than, defaming them or saying nasty things about them behind their back when they don't even know them. So a good leader is a great communicator. A good leader empowers people. A good leader lifts people up and empowers people to be a better version of themselves and teach them skills and give, people valuable information to be a better online marketer or human being, those kind of things. So a good leader does empower people. A good leader is a role model for impeccable behavior. So when you're a leader, everybody's watching. Well, everybody's watching anyway, but when you're a leader, you're even in the limelight even more than you already were. So impeccable behavior is really important because everybody's watching. And if you do things that do not, have, what's the word I'm looking for? They're just not positive. Just remember, everybody's still watching. Okay, so how you behave as a human being and treat other people, all of that is being watched. So you can either do yourself favors or do yourself some damage with that. A good leader is a calming influence on others. So a good leader, and this is a little bit of a lesson because I reacted. I was very upset. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go and watch my live from a couple of days ago. I don't want to repeat the issue, but I got really upset and then I got really angry. Like I wouldn't say I was necessarily calm about the issue initially. Now I'm like, it just is what it is. Let's just move on. But a good leader is very calming. A good leader, when they have issues, people come to them with issues, they just calm the situation. Like if there's issues within my network marketing company, I always try to calm, the issue. Well, we've got a crisis going on in our hand and deliveries are going to take longer than normal. This is not just you, this is around the world. But I haven't got my package. Well, just deal with it. Not that, you get the gist. Like, is it that you're calming influence on it? You don't elevate aggression in any way. You don't elevate or heighten issues that are happening. You calm them in the best way that you can. A good leader never makes assumptions and will always go looking for the facts first. So very pertinent in my situation. I'll say that again. A good leader never makes assumptions. They'll always go looking for the facts first. So I think that says a lot, for the type of person that becomes a good leader is when you act, with integrity in this way. So let's look at some of the traits of a poor leader. A poor leader avoids dealing with conflict. So we'll scoot around the issue and go and have conversations with everyone else except the person sort of involved. In my case, in this scenario, I asked to speak to the person directly involved that had quite a bit to say about me, although doesn't know me, and they didn't want to talk to me. So that's a shame, because I think a good leader deals with things head on, and you just have a conversation and you move on through the situation with strategies to make sure whatever the issue was doesn't happen again. But if people don't want to talk to people, then that's difficult. A poor leader is on a power trip instead of empowering others. A good leader will be more interested in protecting their own nest than everybody else's, around them. A poor leader will be on a power trip. They're more important. It's all about them, their image, those kind of things, instead of about empowering everybody sort of underneath them and make sure they're all, protected and, can rise up themselves to be successful. A poor leader operates from a place of fear and scarcity, not abundance and love. So a leader, whether you feel like it or not, sometimes publicly, particularly, a good leader won't won't come from a place of fear or scarcity and spread that message. A good leader will always, promote a positive message. And, if there's an issue to be dealt with, they'll do it privately rather than publicly and just raise everybody's level of aggression. It's just not the right thing to do. A poor leader is a dictator. So barks orders at people to do certain things, rather than brings people in and you make collective decisions so people have got the buy-in and you work as a team together. So a poor leader will dictate things to people and say, this is what you have to do, this is the way our rules work, rather than sort of getting the buy-in. Like that works in traditional employment as well with a really good boss. A really good boss will include their employees in discussion so that the employees feel like they've got ownership in what's sort of happening in the business. So whatever kind of role it is, a poor leader is just somebody that barks at people and dictates as to what they should and shouldn't do. And a poor leader is also a poor listener, a poor communicator, and is, emotionally triggered. So somebody in a leadership position, and this is my lesson to learn, is I was emotionally triggered. Whereas what we've got to realize is when somebody's throwing stones, it's a reflection on the individual throwing the stone. It's their issue, it's not yours. So what I've had to come to realize with the whole issue that has been impacted on me, in the last few days, is actually not my issue. It was somebody else's issue that threw a stone at me, but it's actually got nothing to do with me. It's actually got nothing to do with me. So, a poor leader will throw stones and will be a poor communicator and, will be emotionally triggered. Now, I was emotionally triggered, and that's my lesson to learn, is that I should have been calmer in that situation. I mean, not that you guys saw me get, really emotional. I did show a little bit of anger on my live a couple of days ago, but, I was very emotionally triggered behind doors because I was hurt, really hurt. So, a good leader, I mean, we're all human, guys, so I'm not going to be a rock. I'm still a human being that has feelings, and I needed to go through those emotions for myself. But, there's just lessons to be learned in everything, whether they're good, bad, or, ugly. There's always lessons to be learned from any kind of experience that we go through. Now, the one piece of advice that I really want to hone in on here for all of you, in any situation in life with friends, relationships, people in general, I would highly recommend you be very careful of what you put in writing, because people are always watching. People can, once you put something in writing, it can be used against you. So I would encourage you all to, just be really, really careful when you are being really aggressive or saying nasty things about somebody. Just be really, really careful about what you put in writing, because you never know when that can be used against you somewhere down the line. And you don't want to be that person that's accused of the certain things, but when it's put in writing, there's evidence. So I've learned this lesson, last year something happened and I wrote something, but I did include somebody's name. And that got screenshotted by somebody, sent to somebody else. And then that somebody else is a very, high up mentor of mine, was suddenly on the phone wanting to talk to me. And I'm like, what's this all about? And whatever. And I didn't realize, what had happened. But what I'd said about somebody had got to somebody. Like, you just never know how something can be used against you if you put it in writing. So leaders don't defame other people. I know we've all got to protect our own, but just strive to be the best version of you guys. If you want to be successful online, if you want to have a really successful business, then run it with integrity, professionalism, have open and honest discussions with people that you're having issues with. Just always be open and upfront and resolve issues, with the person involved, rather than thousands of people getting involved. Everybody's emotions are heightened. There's a whole lot of crap thrown around, and a whole lot of people are infected, and it just makes everything worse. Nothing good comes out of that. But there's always lessons to be learned. So, there's, as I said, let it go, let it go. So I'm letting it go. I'm not going to talk about this anymore, but I think it's an important lesson to learn. How do you guys want to show up in the online world, the network marketing world, the digital space, whatever? It is really important to sort of sit back and think, how do you want to show up to, people on the internet, online world, and to anybody that you're working with? Does that all make sense, guys? I just want to see whether you agree or you don't agree. What are your thoughts, guys? Crystal, I'm grateful for all that I've been through, and many people think I'm crazy for being grateful for some of those horrific things. And some of you, and I know you have, Crystal, you've been through some horrible things in your life. And I know it doesn't make it any easier, but we can't change. You can't change the past. You can't change anything. So we have to learn to accept things, forgive, and move on. We've got to let it go. If you don't, it'll eat you alive for the rest of your life. If you're still hanging on to stuff from years ago, guys, go and deal with it, because it'll eat you alive for the rest of your life. You should be proud. Thank you, Megan. You should be very proud. Thank you. I'm damn proud of the beautiful soul that you are. Thank you. Hello, Crystal. How are you? I got you, Crystal. I knew what you meant. Hello, Lynn. You have every reason to be proud. You are amazing. Water of a duck's back. Just another day at the office. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't at the time, but it certainly is now. Not my problem. It was somebody else's problem. And that's what I had to remind myself of. Good to feel all your emotions and then move on. Proud of you. Yeah. And we need to do that. Like, and you would have heard me say this probably over and over again, is a John Maxwell saying when I saw him speak in Orlando once at a conference. And it's this saying that you feel what you need to feel for 24 hours. If you need to feel it for that long. Hopefully you don't need to feel it for that long, but if you do, it's okay. Just allow yourself to feel what you need to feel, but then move on, because you're consciously allowing yourself to stay in the doldrums. You're consciously hanging on to stuff that may not even be yours to hang on with. It's actually somebody else's issue. Remember, when people are throwing shit at you, it's actually not it's got nothing to do with you. It's got everything to do with the person throwing the shit. Sorry for my language today, guys. I'm not normally that bad, but just, yeah. Hello, I'm not sure who that is. Building something beautiful with the stones that are thrown at you. Yeah, exactly. Yes, how we handle it, the lessons we learn, and how we continue to grow forward to be better leaders ourselves. There's always a lesson in anything, good or bad. Integrity. Hey, Charlene, how are you? You are the best leader ever. Wow, impeccable behavior. rare trait these days. It really is. Like, who acts with impeccable behavior? And people might mean well and slip up. We're all human. So impeccable behavior is a really hard thing to achieve. But, striving to lead by example, leaders must lead. That you become role models. What was it? Role models for impeccable behavior. So maybe, impeccable behavior is hard to find, but people role model us. So, we want to act in the best integrity that we can. I studied human behavior and minored in it in college, and I absolutely loved it. I never considered myself a leader. Honestly, though, I believe a good communicator and good listener. Good communicator is right there at the top of being a good leader. Truth always shed light on the hidden things lurking in the shadows. Yeah, love these life tips. So good and so true. Yikes. What are you yikesing to, Susan? Would love this in my creative space. Would be great to look at every day. I'm not sure what I said that you're referring to. It's hard because we all want to speak our truth. We do, but we've got to be that person of integrity as well. I learned that as a shop steward for a union. Holy kangaroo court. Well, there you go, bringing in the Australian theme. Leaders don't need to defend. True. My lesson about this, don't drink the Kool-Aid. It's just a drink. Yeah, be careful who you listen to, I guess. You are a true leader, Helen. Thank you, Olive, Stephanie. You seem a lot lighter today without the heavy crap. And that's because, as my heading said, I've let it go. I've allowed myself to process and grow from it. I've tried to rise above it and actually have a conversation with the person that has said some pretty nasty things about me, but they don't want to talk to me. So that's their problem. I've tried. Aldith, highly agree. Do you know why Elsa was never given a balloon? Let it go. Very cool, Judy and Bob. I do agree. Makes perfect sense. Agree with all your points. Excellent to emphasize them. Awesome to let it go too. Let it go, Dolores. Absolutely. Good lessons to learn for every one of us. Thank you for showing us how to handle life and business. Because she'd let it go. I was with you, Judy and Bob. I was with you. What we've been through makes us who we are, stronger and wiser. Absolutely. Sean, I love you, girl. The Kool-Aid was a good idea at the time. Hey, Sal, how are you? I say that all the time. It's their shit, not my shit. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I wonder if Facebook's going to limit my organic reach for the amount of swearing on this particular video. The throne will splatter and hit them even harder. Perhaps. Leader, not leader, what you were reading. Oh, okay. I get it, Sandy. Thank you. What's unbelievable that over 3.5 follow them Jonestown all over again, drink the Kool-Aid. So, yeah, we'll move on. It is what it is, but I'm not going to give any more airtime to the actual sort of issue because it's not important anymore. What I've learned from it is how to be stronger. So if something happens like this again, I still need to allow myself to go through my emotions, but, just at the end of the day, we've got to let things go. I do everything that I do with the utmost integrity. I'm very proud of everything that I've created and I do, and the awesome community that we have here. If I've lost a few people because they're, following the Kool-Aid, if you want to put it that way, then that's okay. It's okay. It's completely okay. Everybody can make their own choice about where they want to be, who they want to follow, what they want to do. I don't, discourage or have any ill feelings on anybody that has left or anything. Like it just doesn't matter. It just really doesn't matter. I just know the kind of person that I am and that I want to continue to be for this community. And, those of you that have sent me messages over, over the weekend of support, it's just been absolutely amazing for those of you that were knowing what was going on. And I just truly am grateful for so many of you. You're absolutely amazing. So let's just continue on doing what we normally do. Okay, so thank you for listening to me, guys. Thank you for the 2 hours that I was on with my VIPs just before this live. That was just slightly late. That was awesome too. So onwards and upwards from here, guys. We've got big businesses to build. You've got lots of skills to learn in the online world. So, just bigger and better from here. So love you guys, and I'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. No, you won't. I will be going live very early tomorrow because I have been asked to fill in to do a webinar, but because of the time zone change, So I am going to be live an hour and a half earlier than I was today. So this is the new time because of my daylight savings finishing. So tomorrow, just for a one-off, I will be an hour and a half early. I'll put up maybe the reminder tonight in my time zone. So there's plenty of time to work that out. Anyway, love you guys. You're awesome. Best community ever. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.